So Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Sarah binti Alias, and today I would like to present about research title and objective that our group have chosen, which is the title is the impact of social media on youth. So there's a few objectives that our group have figured out, which is to examine social media's impact on social life for young people, to assess the way young people use social media, and third, to evaluate social media benefit and preference for young people. Besides, there is to assess youth approach to social media and also measure social media spending time. So the second last is to analyze young people's dependence on social media, and it is exhaustive in life. So the lastly is to recommend certain measure to properly use social media to inform and educate them. So there is the objective for our assignment. Next, we go to executive summary, where this report is based on article which is the impact of social media on youth. The study was designed to analyze how social media impact young people, influencing young people in social, political, religious, and political aspect, practice, education, adopting trends, and also sport, and so on. However, this report is expedient in applying social media in the right direction for youth and in creating awareness among the young people that the power use of social media becomes a solid instrument for training, informing, and nurturing the mental level of youth social media, in particular in young people. Next, the study was conducted using the descriptive method. The research was also conducted using the public opinion questionnaire, and the perception that social media impact on young people was discriminate against the statement related to many aspects of young people's life and societies were developed. In the same time, statistical package for social media science, which is SPSS, was used and interpreted for data analysis in order to analyze data, separate the finding, and present data in proper form, and draw the diagram and tables. All collected data were entered on SPSS sheet. Furthermore, we have found a few hypotheses under reliable tests for all the variables that need to be elaborated on each of the results, which is social media will probably raise awareness for young people in a better way. Next, social media is likely to be a quick source of information and entertainment in the interest of young people. Besides, social media is likely to be a great facilitator for young people in education. In a nutshell, you can probably say that young people make a positive use of social media. A large majority of population is agreed that the positive use of social media forms can lead to social political awareness, enhance the various abilities such as enhancing language skill, develop online communication abilities, building broader vision and connectivity. It is also helpful for publicity, portal for job hunting, publishing research paper, and other techniques. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Izzatul Farisha binti Design, and I am from IM2453A. So today I would like to explain about the social media. Regarding to our topic, which is the impact of social media, I would like to explain about the social media first. So what is social media? Social media is a tool or medium or media that we use to communicate and to interact with other people, to use in the entertainment and others. So the platform that we use is like the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, and others, giving a chance to people out there to communicate across distances. As we know, it might be quite important nowadays because it's a user friendly. Okay, first, the impact of social media in education. Okay, students should know and should be taught to use the social media in a learning education. Okay, like the testing, okay, like the writing and others. Understand that the good impact of social media in education, it increase the collaboration of students among the universities or institutions. Okay, the second one is the impact of social media on society. Okay, they have two conceptions, which is positive and negative. Okay, first, positive. Positive because it helps others to collaborate, okay, to communicate, and help the bloggers or writers out there to update all the informations about all the content. And the negative impact, okay, it will be addicted. And the second one, it might be affects someone, okay, to pornography and others. Okay, the third one is the impact of the social media for youngster. So I think younger youngster nowadays uh, always use this platform, okay, to make some interesting content, and to do, yeah, to make money maybe. Because as we look today, they use this platform like Instagram, okay, to do some review, okay, to do some review on the product, to get the money or to get the income. So I think it will help them to increase their income. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aina Umairah binti Zaid. Next, we move to methodology for this study. Methodology adopted for this study is to estimate the impact of social media towards society. This study was conducted through online questionnaire related to the impact of social media towards themselves. The participants are mostly 16 to 25 years old. However, there are also participants over 26 years old. In this study, there are two types of population. First, target population, and second is accessible population. The target population for this study was society who have media social, and the accessible for this study was society who have media social that living in Malaysia. The sampling technique used in this study was convenience sampling technique, which is a specific types of non-probability sampling method. We send a link of online questionnaire through our phone and social media. Next, research instrument. We created a structured questionnaire that contains two parts. Part A is about background information of respondent, and Part B is about research information that contains 13 items. Last but not least is data collection. We use both of primary and secondary sources. Primary sources consist of responses of society, and secondary sources consist of the published books and articles. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, salam sejahtera. First, I'm gonna talk about and present about brief literature review. As a social media affect our life, the article that we choose is present about how social media change our attitude or people behavior and so on. We're going to the introduction. The title of the literature review that we choose is The Impact of Social Media Network on Behavior Change, written by three authors, which is Ashraf M. Atia, which is the first author, Nargis Aziz, and the second author, and the third author is Barry F. Friedman. According to the author, social media not only giving an impact to social life, but it even more on political issue. For example, as we can see now, we only rely on social media to know the news about pandemic COVID-19 for now. Moreover, based on the author say that Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube has changing our behavior and also political change needs such as election. And we move to the discussion of the variable. There are two types of variable, which is independent variable and dependent variable. The independent variable of our case study is there are three, which is gender, marital status, and age. The age is between 16 to 13, but in our questionnaire we provide more than 13 I guess for people who want to contribute or answer the survey. Okay, from the the dependent of our case study is we choose the impact of social media, which is more on general, but here is our conceptual framework, which is here. We can make the hypothesis here is there is a relationship between social media perceived characteristic and attitude toward change. And the second hypothesis is there is between social media perceived characteristic and change intention. Hypothesis 3 is about social media perceived behavior and behavior. The fourth hypothesis is there is a relationship between world governance indicator and national culture identity between both of the three, which is to attitude toward change and change intention and also behavior. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I am Akmal Hakimi bin Salahuddin. I'm from Faculty of Information Management. Today I'm going to represent my group to share with you guys about the data analysis that we figure out from the survey. The data analysis basically will be based on the survey that we already prepared for the respondent, which titled as the impact of social media. The list of variables such as age, gender, marital status, preference, reason, opinion, effect, response. Descriptive statistics are brief descriptive coefficients that summarize a given data set which can be either a representation of the entire or a sample of population. Descriptive statistics are broken down into measure of central tendency and measure of variability. Measure of central tendency include the mean, median, and mode, while measure of variability include the standard deviation, variance, the minimum and maximum variable, and the kurtosis and the skewness. This is my descriptive statistic result from the survey. For the total respondent, the maximum number is 6.0, which is from the preference variables. Meanwhile, the lowest maximum number is 4.0 that consists of reason and response variable. Furthermore, the highest mean is from opinion variable where the amount is 3.4476 and the lowest mean is 1.1567 from effect variable. For the frequency that we figure out from the SPSS, this is our table of frequency from preference variable. Based on the table, the total of frequency is 150. The total of percent is 94.9%, excluded missing system, and the total valid percent is 100%. By the way, the highest frequency for preference variable is 54, that represent as 34.2 valid percent, 36 valid percent, and 84.7 as cumulative percent at the point 2.0 in x-axis based on the graph below. This is the reason variable table of frequencies. Based on the table, the highest frequency for reason variable is 103 out of 150 that represent 65.2%, 68.7 as valid percent, and 70.7 as cumulative percent. Meanwhile, the lowest frequency is 2 that represent 1.3%, 1.3 as valid percent, and 100 as cumulative percent. This is opinion table of frequencies. Based on the table of opinion variable is 70 point that started from 1.67 and ended in 4.50. Besides, the highest frequency is 25 out of 150 that represent as 15.8%, 16.7 as valid percent, and 49.3 as cumulative percent. Meanwhile, the lowest frequency is 1, which represent as 0.6%, 0.6 valid percent, and 4.0 as cumulative percent. This is effect variable of frequency table. Based on the table, the highest frequency for effect variable is 54 out of 150 that represent 34.2%, 36 as valid percent, and 64 as cumulative percent. Meanwhile, the lowest frequency is 1 that consists 2 points, which is 3.0 and 4.0 are having same percent and valid percent such as 0.6 and 0.7, but different cumulative percent they had such as 99.3 and 100. This is response variable of frequency table. Based on the table, the highest frequency for response variable is 54 out of 150 that represent 34.2%, 36 as valid percent, and 80 as cumulative percent. Meanwhile, the lowest frequency is 1 that consists 4 points which share the same frequency and all of them represent 0.6%, 0.6 as valid percent, but different cumulative percent. And this is our graph that we get from the SPSS. 6.2 Inferential Statistic. Reliability test. 1. Preference variable. This is our reliability statistic table for preferences variable. The total item for preference is 2. The Cronbach alpha that stated there for preferences is 0.253. This is item statistic table. The highest mean for the item statistic is 1.88, which is for the how many hours a day do you spend on this platform. This is our inter-item correlation matrix table. And this is our item total statistic table. There is no value of Cronbach alpha if item deleted for the preference variable, so the problem cannot be verified. 2. Effect variable. This is reliability statistic table. The total item for effect is 2. The Cronbach alpha that stated there for effect is 0.167. This is item statistic table. The highest mean of item statistic for the effect is 1.53, which is for the question, what are personal pros when using the social media? This is our inter-item correlation matrix, and this is our item total statistic table. From the table, there is no value of Cronbach alpha if item deleted for the effect variables, so the problem cannot be verified. 3. Opinion opinion variable. This is the reliability statistic of opinion variable. The total item for opinion is 6. The Cronbach alpha that's stated there for it is 0.574. This is item statistic table. The highest mean in opinion for the item statistic is 4.39, which is from the question, do you think that parental control is important nowadays? This is inter-item correlation matrix. And this is item total statistic. From the table, there is an item that has problem which is the value of Cronbach alpha. If item deleted is 0.678, that is higher than the value of Cronbach alpha, which is 0.574. The item that have problem is, do you have accept any strangers who try to follow or add you on social media, which get the higher value in the survey? And last, response variable. This is the reliability statistic table. The total item for response variable is 13. The Cronbach alpha that's stated there is 0.023. This is item statistic table. The highest mean is 1.83 for the response in item statistic, which is from the survey. Sound as, what emotions do you experience when using social media? This is intercorrelation matrix table. And this is our item total statistic table. From the table, there is no value of Cronbach alpha if item deleted for the effect values. So the problem cannot be verified. Last but not least, 6.22. Correlation. This is our table of correlation. From the table, correlation is significant at the 0.01 level to tail, and correlation is significant at the 0.05 level to tail. Based on the table, the Pearson correlation for preference variable is positive correlation because the amount it have is 1. The percent correlation for reason variable is negative correlation because the amount it have is negative 0.03, 0.073. Third, the percent correlation for opinion variable is negative correlation because the amount it have is negative 0.121. The Pearson correlation for effect variable is no correlation at all because the amount it have is 0.214. It is because the amount is below 1, which is 0. And lastly, the percent correlation for response variable is no correlation because the amount it have is 0.096, same as the effect variable. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farha Zahira binti Fariman, and today I will be the presenter that will present about our conclusion for our research study. As we all know that using social media have a good and bad impact, which is the pros and cons on using the social media. So these people around the age 21 to 25 years old mostly answer about the cons in using social media, especially in cyberbullying, which is the main problem nowadays. It is usually normal because people adult in that age usually can always manage their social media and use it wisely. Especially nowadays there are many online business, so it can be such an example for people around that age to use the social media in a good way. As we all know that our group have chosen the topic which is impact of social media towards people. Is from the article. What I can conclude is the article basically talk about a framework about their social networks, especially on their country policies and behaviors. As a conclusion for the data analysis that I can make is we have declared 5 variables in this study, which is preference, reason, response, opinions, and also last one is effect. So the most useful variable is opinion, because opinion give a lot of information for us and helping us in doing our data analysis. The reason why I say opinion variable is the most useful data in this analysis because the other variables such as preference, reasons, response, and effect does not have value in their Chromback alpha if item deleted for the item. So only opinion have the value for the Chromback alpha if item is deleted. And we also can detect the problem in the table that have been shown there. So we can clarify and verify the problem, and we can also know that the data is correct or not. Lastly, for the conclusion in data analysis, data from the reliability test for reason variable cannot be verified and not be presentable. It is because the variable does not have enough information to be displayed on, so we cannot retrieve the result from the variable. So it make a little bit hard for us to ensure that the data can be used or not. Okay, we go to the recommendation that I can make from all the conclusion that I've done. It is we should make an improvement towards the questionnaire question, so that it should be more convenient for people to answer and provide the easiest answer for them to choose. I also suggest that the question for the questionnaire should provide more useful data for the data analysis use, so that it can help us collect the valuable data for the research. Last but not least, we should make the questionnaires questions make the answer for the questionnaire questions more easier and simple for respondent to pick the answers, and make the person who and make easier to the person who in charge for the data analysis, so that the problem like data cannot be presentable can't occur, and other than that, provide the information that are exactly simple and can be easy to understand. So that is the last word from me. Thank you so much, and that's all.